Now, it's time for the Anchormen podcast with Matt Gaetz and Dan Ball.
Welcome back to the Anchorman Show. I'm Matt Gaetz alongside my good friend Dan Ball. Dan's got Real America every night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, and The Perfect Chaser right afterwards is the Matt Gaetz Show at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Good to see you, buddy.
Nice seeing you. Thanks for leaving me high and dry last week. It's a good thing that my buddy Uncle Ted showed up for like the whole podcast. And so I got to give props and a big thank you again to Ted Nugent, #1, for lending us his song for our theme song.
Yes.
Stranglehold. That's awesome. But also, he filled in. I mean, not that we didn't miss you, Matthew, but put it this way. Riley and I, you just turn on Ted Nugent and sit back.
Well, you never should blame a friend for leaving you in a position where you get to hang out with cooler friends.
Well, I didn't want to say it that way, but okay.
Yeah, so you can't bust my balls for this. And actually, I had so much FOMO. It was a great episode. I was in freezing cold Washington,
You were in the swamp. I told
D.C.,
people. Yeah.
19 degrees, and you're out here enjoying it, kicking it.
Can you tell us what you were doing? I told him you were on secret assignment for OAN.
I was interviewing Bolsonaro's son, Eduardo Bolsonaro.
That's what you're doing.
That was a big interview for our program, International News. It's crazy how the stuff we see with Trump then becomes very predictive of what comes next. And Bolsonaro seems to be going through a lot of what Trump went through. But we were just talking as we were heading in here about hunting. And you were inviting me on a hunting trip. And we were talking about what style of hunting is like the manly style that you like. So for me, nothing would top the helicopter hog hunting.
Yeah,
I've not done it. Friends have done it. Now, the python hunting in the Everglades I have done, and that is delightful because they're an invasive species. And so we actually have a state bounty on pythons, where if you kill them, the state of Florida
you get paid.
Will thank you and pay you. So that you can only imagine.
Okay, now wait, I got so many questions.
All right.
Wait a minute. First of all, you used a word I've never heard with hunting, delightful. This is how refined this gentleman is and not me. Because I've never used the word delightful with hunting. I would like badass. How do you kill a python in Florida? They let you shoot it?
Yeah.
Bow? You shoot it.
You shoot it with like a 22.
Rifles? Oh, you have to use a low caliber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a python. It's not an elephant.
Well, I like blowing things heads off, so I didn't know if I could use like a 308 or a lever action 30-30 or my 7mm or my AR or my AK or my, I should stop talking.
An AK would, yeah, right. By the way, this podcast is now already on an ATF watch list.
But wait, we know who's heading up the ATF, Matt, so we're safe.
Yes.
His name's Kash Patel.
We love him. We love him. So we also have one of our terrific colleagues here, Pearson Sharp. And Pearson, I've been such a fan of yours even before I joined the network because of your investigative reporting.
Oh, stop.
You are all over this stuff, and you
talk about gun nuts.
Now, Pearson is interesting because a lot of these censorship entities seem to be your most committed viewers. I mean, you cannot do an episode without the hall monitors of the internet giving you detention. And it must be a badge of honor.
I think I've got more hate viewing than pleasure viewing, honestly.
Hey, I love the hate viewers. I'll take the hate viewers.
I'm sorry, you guys talking about hate viewing. I'm just thinking about revenge porn and hate porn. I'm like, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? We're talking about news reports.
You talk about what you know, so that's
okay.
No, the hate viewers
I think he
are
gets
committed
more hate than
viewers.
I do here.
I
think he does.
Which is surprising.
Is it a competition? Matt, you've only been on board 6 weeks. I think we should compare. He's been here how many years?
11 years.
11. Okay, so since the network started, I'm going on 5. You're going on like 5 or 6 weeks. Who gets more hate mail at OAN from crazy, wacky leftos? You, me, or Pearson? We're going to start studying this.
I didn't even know we had email. So that's terrific.
Hey, he has people. He has people to take care of his email. We don't.
Email, so boomer. So, Pearson, the reason I wanted you on the show is because I am concerned that you might have been converted into an agent of the Chinese Communist Party. And Dan does not know the full backstory here, but as I understand it, as a member of the media, the Chinese embassy reached out to you and wanted to have a conversation with you. Is that right?
What?
Yes. Yeah. Imagine my surprise.
So give us, we are details people, and Dan and I are not up against a clock here. And so I just want to know, like, how would you describe the outreach from the Chinese embassy to know what the great Pearson Sharp is thinking?
I would love to know why they picked me, because I am probably the most anti-China, anti-Chinese person out there. I lived there for a year, and it was probably the worst year of my life. The culture shock was just horrendous. And to be clear, like I was a teacher. I was teaching in this little town of 4 million people called Xuchang. And the students that I had were lovely people. Like they were nice, but the culture was just completely alien, completely foreign. And I have not been shy about making that a recurring subject on videos that I make or my blog that I write on. That's something I definitely want people to know is how awful that country is.
Yeah. By the way, let me help protect you. He's saying the country, the CCP,
Right.
not the people.
Right.
So it's kind of like when you say the Chinese flu. We're not talking about the people, especially the Chinese Americans. He's talking about the country, China.
Yeah.
Because you say something bad like that, they're gonna come at you now.
So you know that's your reporting.
Yeah.
And they reach out
would
and they're like,
think that.
we'd love
They're trying to turn you.
chat with you.
Of all the people
Hold on, I'm
at
frisking
OAN,
for a recording device.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
he's clean. He's clean.
not where I put it down.
I'm not touching that. Vish, can we get a producer out here? Frisk this guy.
Yeah, of all the people they could have reached out to, I'm astonished they picked me. And I tried to kind of tacitly ask why they did that, and they kind of dodged the question. But yeah, I got an email from someone at gmail.com, which was the first surprising thing, asking if I'd be interested in talking to the Chinese embassy. And my first thought was, this is bullshit.
When did this happen? Just recently?
This was last week. Yeah.
You didn't tell me?
Pearson's
you told
like,
him
I'm not
first?
falling for this after giving that Nigerian prince my bank account number.
He's never gotten back to me.
I know.
I'm still waiting to meet his daughter.
Yeah.
So
I
how's the
sent that
conversation
Pakistani
go?
money from
I know the viewers are going to be hanging on the edge of their seat to know, how did the Pearson Sharp Chinese embassy engagement proceed?
Yeah.
It was very diplomatic. I took the Matt Gaetz approach, and I was very diplomatic.
Be offended?
And yeah. And it was very smile and nod, because I knew that China has this very interesting thing as part of their culture called saving face. And we all kind of know what that means over here. But over there, it's completely different from what we expect here. To give you an example, you could be in the market going to buy something from someone, and he drops your meat on the floor. He picks it up and hands it to you. You just dropped that on the floor. No, I didn't. And you'd say, oh, okay, no, you didn't. You know he's lying. He knows you know he's lying, but you both just go along with it so that no one's embarrassed. And that
Sounds
level
like the
of
later years of marriage.
Oh.
Well, I
Is
haven't
that good
gotten
for
it
you? Yeah, it was good for me.
So that level of deceit transfers all the way up to the top. And they just expect that kind of brinkmanship when you're discussing something with anybody. So I knew that he was lying to me. Especially, I got to ask him some questions about Tibet, which is a personal subject of mine that I love. And he was lying flat out about it. But, I'm not there to debate him. I just want to hear what he has to say and, kind of do my own fishing expedition to see why they wanted to talk to me. I never really got a clear answer, but he did bring up at the start, so we see that One America News is now, you have a seat in the Pentagon. And so we feel that One America News is very important. And we like to reach out to media organizations, and we feel that we've been lacking in our discussions with OAN. So we wanted to correct that mistake.
Listen to these sons of... So they emailed you a week ago.
Yeah.
The Chinese embassy.
Right.
Then you got on a phone call with them.
Right.
And they're explaining why they want to now embrace
they wanted
you.
They wanted to meet me in D.C. and have tea. So if I was a little closer, that would have been
Dude,
fun.
they were trying to flip you.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's where you meet the honeypot.
Right.
Yep.
And let me bring up.
They were trying to...
There's a honeypot feature.
They were trying to
it was
Eric
an
Swallowwell you.
It was an hour-long interview, conversation, whatever. And at the end, I was like, okay, I got a meeting I got to go to. I got to leave. And the guy was like, oh, okay, wait 1 second. And he turned the camera over, and there was this young Chinese girl.
it was a
sitting
Zoom.
there. Yeah. This young Chinese girl sitting there, and so she started grilling me.
Fang Fang. Here comes Fang Fang.
I think this
honeypot.
was Wing Wong.
Dude, I think what they're learning is that
Bing bang, bang bang.
the honeypot scheme does not work as well over Zoom.
Not quite.
No.
Can you imagine?
And it only works with stupid liberals, because I think most conservatives, especially people at this network, are on guard and on edge at all
Well, I
times.
tell you what, they give us a defensive briefing on that in Congress. I wonder if they do it in the military. Do they ever tell you in the military if some really attractive person rolls up on you that you don't deserve, you should wonder whether or not they're a spy?
I got to think back to 92, 3 when I went in.
There were spies.
I think we got some sort of briefing about if you ever get approached by anybody, foreign entity, bring it forward to your commander. So,
It
yes,
happens
there
all
was.
over DC.
No, listen, brother. My 4
we go.
years in,
Here we go.
I stayed away from any possible connections with any foreign agents. Let's put it that way.
Well, the joke at the Trump hotel, like in the early years of the administration, was like 1 out of every 3 women there was either a prostitute or a spy, and sometimes overlap. Honestly.
Or working for Comey at the FBI.
Yeah,
Because we heard about that honeypot.
Those are spies. But
Yeah.
actually, the
Honeypot.
honeypot scheme is one that's run all over the globe. I think most of the spies on the planet Earth are women. And it's because they're better at extracting information than men.
Well, how's a
Definitely
dude
don't have
going to
to
go
try as
honeypot?
hard.
I was going to say, how is a guy going to go honeypot a gal that's like working for our FBI or our CIA? Is a guy going to honeypot them?
I mean, James
doesn't-
Bond was kind of a honeypot, wasn't
That's true. He did extract information from ladies, but he was
Not too many
But he
of
was
those running
he was
around.
he?
James
The OG
Bond.
honeypot,
He was
James,
James Bond. Yeah, especially Sean Connery. He could honeypot chicks. I mean,
Not
Sean
anymore.
Connery.
I don't-
By
I
the
don't
way,
know.
real quick, who's the best James Bond? Go.
I like Pierce Brosnan.
Not bad.
Roger Moore.
You liked Roger.
I did.
I'm going with Sean Connery. All right. Anyway, where were we?
Oh, we got the best 3 covered.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
gonna
we're
get.
gonna
By the way,
talk
I'm gonna
movies.
get roasted in the comments for that take.
For picking him?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
at least you didn't say Timothy Dalton or somebody like that.
No,
so
no, no.
you're
He was
okay,
the
you're
worst. He was
okay.
clearly the worst.
But we are going to do movies later because, the big Academy Awards are this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
We're in award season. Aren't you excited?
Did
Woke
you used
Hollywood.
to watch the? I used to watch him as a kid, and now I have absolutely no interest.
I had to cover him, Matt. Did we go
No.
over this? I
Tell
thought I
me.
told you that. On the first episode, you know this about me, I thought.
I don't know anything about you.
Look, everybody's looking
Less
like
I know,
strange
the
at me.
better.
For like 13 years of my 30-some year career in TV, they had me being an entertainment reporter. I got sent to Hollywood all the time. I was on the red carpet for the Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, multiple film festivals. I covered that crap for years. I couldn't tell you what bill was happening in Congress 20 years ago, but I could tell you what A-list celeb was banging what A-list celeb.
Did you
Or-
ever ask someone the question, "Who are you wearing"? Because I just can't imagine that coming out of Dan Ball's mouth.
No, I had to think about that for a second, but no. Matter of fact, I would actually do my homework, and most of the celebs I would interview, and I recall a few of them that pointed, like Kate Winslet and others, who pointed out, "Thank you, that was a very good question," because they're used to those idiot reporters from Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight on the red carpet going, "Oh my God, what are you wearing? Is that Valentino? Is that Gucci? What's your next project?" They're just stupid questions.
Dan Ball's like, "What are your thoughts on
Global trade
quantitative
initiative that no,
easing?"
I would look them up. I would do what's called research for you journalists out there, and then I would come at them with, "I see you were born and raised in Wisconsin and blah blah blah. You did a film 23 years ago, your second film ever that was," and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you actually looked that up, or you knew that. Thanks for knowing that about me and not asking a stupid ass question
Do
like."
you think you were
"What are you wearing?"
you are more intense as a political commentator than you were as an entertainment reporter, or what? Like, should we expect that it was the same intensity across both platforms? Because I could see you being one real intense entertainment reporter. I know who you're sleeping with. You better get over here and answer my question.
That kind of assumes he's not this intense all the time. Like he never turns off.
Yeah, it's the same Dan.
It's the same Dan. You get him on air as you get him in person.
But that's why we named the damn show Real America, because I try to stay as real as possible. Everybody knows you do. If you're sitting having a drink with me outside of the office, I act the same damn way. I'm not trying to put on airs or act for y'all at home. This is me. I'm a little out there. You don't like it? Click, change the channel.
That's what we come for, Dan.
Free will, baby. It's called free will. To answer your question, yes and no. I mean, I wasn't like ruthless like I am with politicians because let's be real, Matt, as politicians, you guys represent us and decide our fate in Washington, D.C. So obviously I'm way more intense. When I was on the carpet, would I, try to get Travolta to dance with me or do the splits or act crazy or, try to kiss some hot actress just to like make a scene? Yeah. So I was a little intense that way. But no, I wasn't like nasty and ruthless and whatever. To them, they're just celebrities. Who gives a...
Sounds like it would definitely be frowned upon.
You want to go to the
2025?
You want to go to the Oscars with me this weekend in Razel?
I don't even know like what's gonna win. The stuff that started winning was all this obscure crap.
I don't know. The movie's up. Do you?
Right.
Nothing's good anymore. I haven't been to a movie in like 5 years.
I don't pay
What was the
attention.
last movie you went to?
I can't even remember, honestly. I really
I think the last movie I went to was Wedding Crashers.
Oh my God, that was such a...
2005.
I love that movie. Last one I
Well,
went
because think about it. You go to a
Public
movie
Adam fan.
theater. You go to a movie theater, and
good.
it's basically public seating, right? So other people have been sitting there grinding away.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just sitting. And then you got to like get up to go to the bathroom. You can't pause anything. I just never. The home experience got good enough.
For most movies, I would not go to the theater for Wedding Crashers, but I would go for Star Wars. A big spectacle.
I did the Top Gun one that came out 2 years
Top Gun
ago.
would be great.
The Maverick one, because my daughter actually wanted to see it.
That was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
Which is
Tom
haven't
Cruise
seen it.
helped to save Hollywood for a second.
I have 2 daughters, and I have not had time to see it.
Great movie. My daughter, because we live in San Diego, and we were living at a home just off the runway of Miramar up on the hill, so we could watch the fighter jets take off. And so my daughter and my wife actually wanted to see that one. That was one of the last big releases in the last 4 or 5 years I've ever gone to. But then I did go to a theater to watch our friend James O'Keefe's Line in the Sand movie about his documentary about the border. So I did go to that one a few months ago. Prior to that, it was Top Gun in the last 5-6 years. That's it. 2 movies.
They say now that Hollywood's going to start working with the more patriotic actors, some of the more patriotic writers, to get away from the wokeness.
Mark Wahlberg and Mel
Big Move.
Gibson,
Yeah.
like the 2 ambassadors are now or whatever.
It's important because we were talking in our first episode about Good Morning Vietnam and it inspiring
Launched my
your
career.
service. By the way, that was what we got the most comments on. Was
Really?
people debating how good Good Morning Vietnam was or wasn't as a movie. So have at it, comment section.
Go ahead. You might not like it, but I did.
When you have the movies that really lionize that patriotism, it does help in recruiting. And we are hearing that the recruiting is way up right now, which you usually don't get outside of a war.
Have you seen the new ads? You saw the old ad.
Oh, yeah.
for Biden.
Ugh.
Like the
that
lesbian
Navy woke
mothers
one. Remember that Navy one?
Yeah,
God, was that
like,
disgusting.
My mother's inspired. Get the hell out of here. Now the ads I've been seeing have been very, very pro-American. Just a bunch of dudes running around like using goggles and blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Like
That's just what we're supposed to be
that's what
for.
we're supposed to be doing.
Thank
Like,
you.
That's what guys want to do.
Yeah.
We want to jump out of planes.
That's what I signed
we
up
wanna
for.
Shoot at things,
and then I
blow
ended up on
stuff
TV.
So they say the number one referral source is a family member who had a positive experience in the military.
That's correct.
And you've said very on air a lot that you don't even know that you would recommend a young person to go join the military.
During Biden.
Yeah, what I wonder is, has that fully gone 180 in your mind?
Well-
Are you totally back on the team that you would say to a young person, this is a great way to advance your life?
Right now, yes, because I believe President Trump will keep us out of endless wars. So if tomorrow my daughter, who's going to be 18 this October, came to me and said, you know what, Dad, forget it. I'm not going to go to college next year, which she's planning on, which again, I told her, you decide, because I don't want to waste a bunch of money on a bunch of woke BS. So if you don't want to go in the Peace Corps, go get a job first. We'll see how it is in the real world, or go in the military. And I said, today I would be okay with it because I think Trump will keep us out of endless wars. I know that Pete is cleaning up the military as we speak, firing woke generals and colonels that deserve it. And so, yes, today I would. Under Biden, no, because we were facing sending troops to Ukraine, sending troops to the Middle East. And when I talk to active duty service members, and I know you do as well, Pearson, this is all I hear from them is I should be out training on the mock battlefield, or I should be in my boat, my ship, my plane, my tank doing things, but they've got me in a classroom training woke DEI BS. That's actually upsetting our active duty troops, not the woke ones that went in that are looking for a free education, the patriots that went in to serve, and as Pearson so eloquently put, blow shit up. Those guys and gals actually just want to do their job and be training, and they can't every day. They've got them in the classroom.
For like 4 years, I think it's just come to an end now. For 4 years out of Fort Bragg, they were running a operation training the officers that pro-life members, people who are pro-life, even to the point where you just have one of those covers on your license plate that says something pro-life, were actual terrorists, were domestic terrorists. And in the slides that they were using to train them, people who were pro-life were right next to ISIS as far as being categorized. So you have Islamic State people who cut people's heads off, the exact same. People who are pro-abortion should be on that. I mean, talking about killing,
There's a hot take.
Yeah, talking about killing people.
Pro-choice people are ISIS, says Pearson Sharp.
I mean,
Very
you're
base.
talking about killing innocent people.
Well,
I think that what is so telling to me is how fast someone who like has served like Dan can reverse on it though, because there's a lot of this stuff. It's going to take a while to get the FBI cleaned up, to get the DOJ cleaned up, to get power out of agencies like the Department of Education and Department of Labor. But what's so telling to me about your observation is the right leadership at the top. You're ready to support this organization, its goals, and
well, because Matt, if we don't have them, think about it.
Well, no,
we
it's
have
so
a country.
important. It's so important.
We got to have a strong military, and I was scared. I'll admit it. I was scared shitless the last 4 years that if we went to another big war, would we have enough dedicated fighting troops? Again, and this
we lost our last war to a bunch of goat herders in Afghanistan.
I mean,
we don't have a big like winning record right now.
And look how we pulled out though under that leadership, right?
Yeah.
And now Pete's claiming he just said it yesterday or today, I think, heads are going to roll. He's launching a full investigation into the withdrawal of Afghanistan. And allegedly, and I hope they do it, you better do it, Pete and Mr. Trump, do it. Heads should roll. People should pay.
They have
13 killed, the 45 maimed for life, but the 89 billion in equipment stuff we left behind that we now find out is in the hands of Iranians, the Chinese, the Russians.
Everybody.
Our gear's everywhere now. Somebody needs to pay for that.
Well, I'm glad they got rid of that CQ Brown guy. He was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He was terrible. I met with him a bunch of times.
Yeah, give us some inside baseball, Matt, on that guy.
Yeah, well, he was somebody who, after the George Floyd thing, made this ridiculous video about how like everyone was, either the oppressor or the oppressed, and so many people that were in my military-heavy community valued unit cohesion over celebrating their differences. And it seemed as though Brown was one of those that came up in those ranks. But look, it can be fixed quickly. That's a wonderful thing. Can Hollywood be fixed as quickly? We're going to be talking a lot about Hollywood. But if you got the right, these Hollywood ambassadors, Sylvester Stallone, like you said, Mel Gibson, Wahlberg, is there enough of a spark of patriotism in that place to start making more movies like Top Gun Maverick and Good Morning Vietnam that would have the impact of inspiring people to that service?
My answer is no. What do you think?
I think there absolutely is enough people who want to do that.
But in Hollywood, I think it's going to branch out and be elsewhere.
It's going to be, independent studios.
See, and that's what
a lot of them are.
That's what you're talking about.
That's so important. That is so important because that is America. That's our forward face that everybody sees. That's what America is to a lot of people, is our movies.
That's true.
Our media.
Yeah, foreign nations.
That defines it. Like the 80s, our muscle men movies, Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, you'd meet somebody from China, from whatever.
America.
And they'd be like, oh,
What's
America,
your favorite
this.
movie, Pearson?
It's true.
What is my favorite movie?
Yeah. We know that Good Morning
Gladiator.
Vietnam is Gladiator.
Wow, he didn't miss it.
Very.
Russell Crowe, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way,
what we do in life echoes in eternity.
Yeah, can I just say it again?
The opening lines of the Sharp Report next week.
I've interviewed him on the red carpet a couple times. Prick.
Really? Oh, there's a scoop. Wait, hold on. What are you drinking?
Everybody knows that. He's a prick. Now, I've said it 4 times. He's not a nice guy. He's rude to people. Russell Crowe. Sorry, ladies. He ain't that nice of a guy. And you've seen him lately? Anyway.
He looked like the kind of guy that would get thick.
He is thick nowadays and not nice. Maybe he's gotten sweeter in his older and fatter years, but he's not very nice to people.
Yeah,
his fans.
You see the last movie
press?
he did? Netflix, Land of Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm fatter, I'm nicer to people. Just generally.
So you're saying the Ozempic version is not as nice?
Oh, no, I would never do Ozempic.
I know, I'm busting your chops.
No, you know why? Because people get that weird Ozempic face.
Like
you know
Ben
what I'm talking
Affleck
about.
and others?
You think Affleck's on the Ozempic? It's
Come
an
on,
opinion.
we talked about this a few weeks ago. Look at the freaking Comedy Central roast of Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
When he walked out. I didn't recognize him. I had to do a double take. Goes, is that Ben Affleck? He was all like this. They look horrible.
Well, a lot of celebrities do. It's not just
They're all taking the Ozempic. It's horrible. It's so bad for you. I told you, we had a family member on my wife's side take the generic version only for a few months and lost her gallbladder over it. And people are so addicted to looking all svelte and skinny.
Seems like a suspect medical claim. I'm going to push back for the sake of
the docs
not
told her it was
getting
probably that
pod suit. So
I don't know. I wouldn't take that crap.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I want to back up. You asked me, what is your favorite movie?
The Truman Show was filmed in my house.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It was about a guy who's always on television.
That's inspired Matt's career.
Some have opined that might be the case. Yeah, The Truman Show was filmed in our little beach house. I got to meet Jim Carrey, and then he was
my
pretty
childhood
mean to me.
hero.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I loved him.
Was it like the liar
He was
version?
Liar. Yeah.
That got a lot
I
of fun.
think I have
I
that
can't
movie
imagine it was
memorized.
Ace Ventura.
No, I
Those
loved
were
Ace
great movies.
Ventura. That was
What was
great.
the scary movie he did with the rooms?
13 or something?
13.
Yeah.
He's so good because he can make you laugh, he can make you cry, he can scare you. I think he's underrated.
But a
I think he was
messed up
just goofy,
individual.
stupid. He's got some
Yeah,
problems.
he's especially the later years. There's art and everything
Yeah.
else that he's doing.
Yeah.
No, he painted a
dark.
picture of me. Did a whole thing about me.
Did he?
So wait, which beach house was it? His house? It was Truman's
Where
house?
Truman lived.
That was
where-
yours?
Yeah, where he was chilling. So I got to watch the movie get made. And
Right on.
it was amazing. Like when a movie gets made, there's so much that goes into it that I never really appreciated until then.
Tons of waste and fraud like DC.
You think so?
I mean, look how much money they spend pampering these overpaid celebrities, craft services and assistants and hair and makeup and assistants
Well,
and,
like you look at
and
the-
assistants.
You should watch the filming of the Matt Gaetz show. I'm like, damn it, I need M&Ms, only the blue ones.
Yeah, did you have any demands when you
Yeah,
started
everybody
here?
out there, you should see his trailer. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Matt has a car, a trailer, assistants, makeup.
I have to
personal,
live in the trailer, so no. They have all that same trailer system. It's like one company that provides all of them to everyone.
Trailer Wars or whatever. I've seen it on the thing, right? Or
a good monopoly.
Starfleet, Star something. I don't know. Yeah, there's like two main companies that do all the bookings for those trailers and everything. It's such a racket, though. I mean, I've been on independent film sets and I've been on big film sets when I used to cover them. And you see this massive, huge budget of $100 million and the hundreds of employees and all the crap. And then you go to independent one they made for $3 million. And then the final product, you go,
Right.
that movie
Yeah.
was just as good.
Yep.
What the hell? And I get it's an industry and you're employing people and that's great. It's America, it's capitalism.
That's actually crashing Disney
But-
right now.
Yeah, independence, which is what
Well-
you were talking about. Wahlberg and all those guys want to move stuff out of Hollywood. So to your question about will it survive, will Patriots shine through in Hollywood? In film, yes. In the actual city of Hollywood, no, I don't think so. Those power brokers aren't going to let that happen.
Well, it's so interesting that that's happened with many other industries where there's not the concentration of talent in New York, LA. It's people have diffused all over the country, and that has created opportunity even in your mid-market, small market.
Look at how many
places.
celebrities are getting out of Hollywood. They're moving to Nevada, Utah, Texas, Tennessee, Florida. They're not even living in Hollywood anymore.
After that list comes out tomorrow, I think a lot more are going to be leaving.
Oh,
Are we really getting? See, I don't know. I don't know
it's all redacted.
what's going on
yeah,
there.
it is.
It does feel like there's some attention paid to what foreign governments might be exposed in some of this material.
It does seem like that.
And
It absolutely
UK?
seems
it's
like that.
uncomfortable when it's your allies who are doing things
Britain.
that might be trying to compromise.
Are they our allies, though?
It does have a bit of a frenemy energy, doesn't it?
That's polite.
Yeah.
Frenemies.
It's very politic.
Yes.
We are frenemies. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that the good old boys at the DOJ and the FBI have already done their redacting and burning and deleting. And I don't think that Pam and Cash are going to get the real story to give us, the American people, the real story.
That's a very
because the
pessimistic
bureaucrats
view.
are stopping them.
Obviously,
Sorry.
sunlight
Well-
is the best disinfectant.
Sure.
It's pessimistic, but it's realistic. I mean, when have we ever gotten the full story on any of this stuff? I'm still waiting for JFK. That was supposed to be, well, when Trump was in the first time, he said he declassified that. And it
They
never
wouldn't
got
give him
out.
all the files.
But they wouldn't give him everything. And then this time, they had a 2-week or 13-day limit on when they were supposed to release everything. That was a month
They even have a
ago.
committee. They put your friend Anna Paulina Luna in charge of the committee. I talked to her earlier today. And, it's supposed to be what? RFK, MLK, JFK, and Epstein. And we get it all. Trump demands give it all. But if the people behind the scenes already redacted, deleted it, or burn it, how the hell are we getting it all? We're not.
They can't bring it back to life. And, people who want to maintain their life should maintain their health care. And healthcare should be simple, not a constant battle with red tape restrictions and shortages, right? You shouldn't have to jump through hoops and just get the medications you need. It should be easy. That's why you have to check out All Family Pharmacy. They believe in your right to make your choices regarding the medications like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, all kind of supplements, antibiotics. You visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt to get what you need. They handle the rest. They hook you up with a licensed doctor. The doctor provides the prescription, and then the meds, they're shipped right to your door. It's simple, it's real, and being prepared, it's not negotiable. So whether it's another virus coming out of China, whether it's supply chain issues, government restrictions, having the essential medications on hand gives you peace of mind. So stock up now, stay ready. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt. Use code MATT10 for 10% off your order. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt because your healthcare should be in your hands.
All right, I'm so bummed. I got to throw this out, Matt, real quick, because I thought my buddy, actor and big 2A supporter, Isaiah Washington, was going to join us on this podcast to pretty much talk shit on Hollywood since the Academy Awards is this weekend. He got in a meeting, something happened, he can't make it happen. So I guess you're stuck with just us. But Isaiah's a cool cat.
Sorry about that.
Met him up at, you and I've talked about this, and we're going to take you up and do some shooting at my friend Taryn Butler's place, Taryn Tactical Innovations, where he makes all those awesome guns for Hollywood and all the celebrities, teaches them how to shoot. And I met Isaiah there a few years ago, shooting, huge 2A guy. And so, and Hollywood.
What's your favorite kind of hunting, though, to do? Like, favorite kind? And I've already taken hogs from the...
Don't say spies. I don't know. Pheasant is really fun. I like pheasant a lot. I've never been wild boar.
See, maybe I'm not doing the pheasant thing right, because to me,
Why?
it just feels like an execution. Like, is there fair hunt when you go kick a pheasant out of the bushes and it's like a few feet in front of you?
You still have to have accuracy and calm nerves and be able to take that bird down.
Well, fair chance.
I've seen a lot of experienced hunters miss their first and second shot on pheasant. Don't kid yourself. So
Or
it's
what
not like
about
it's that
quail?
easy.
What about those quail hunts where they just pour the birds out of like a giant
I don't go to those.
bucket and then you're just blowing them to smithereens?
But see, I've never been on any of those staged hunts where you're on somebody's property where they're
Right.
raising them and they're kind of fenced in and you're guaranteed to get something.
Yeah,
I don't do that.
That does not feel like a fair hunt.
not a fair
We
hunt.
call it a canned hunt in Florida.
Gotcha.
We actually passed some laws against some of them because they were just so
Never done it.
kind of against the spirit of actual
One, I can't afford
locals.
it. I mean, when I was growing up on the farm in Northwest Ohio, if you wanted to go hunting, right, you took off a week of school when you were in high school and you grabbed your cousins and your dad and your brothers as many as you could and you load up in the trucks and you went out to somebody's land or woods or your own if you owned it, if you're lucky enough, which we didn't. We only owned like 2 acres. And then you got what you got. There was no stage thing with raised animals and you're guaranteed you're going to come home with a deer today. You might go all week and freeze your ass off and not get a shot off.
If you fence it and it lives inside the fence, it's a pet.
So I'm from Ohio too.
There you go.
And
You never went on those, right?
no.
Exactly. That's not hunting.
But we had a house in the woods and my mom would feed the deer. And my best friend got word of that and he loved to hunt. So he went up to my bedroom window, sat down with a rifle, a cup of hot chocolate, and waited for the deer to come to him. And he got a deer that day.
I mean, a lot of people do that though on their own property. They
How
put
did
the
your mom feel
salt
about
block
that?
out.
Oh, my mom was brutal. She was all about culling the herd, thin the numbers. She was fine with that.
Well, if you listened to Ted Nugent last week, you have to. I mean, a true
Actually, dude,
hunter
there's
is
too
a
many.
conservationist.
There's too many in Ohio. There's
There
absolutely
is.
too many. Yeah.
Between the deadly accidents, then you have starvation, dying of disease,
Yeah.
eating the crops that
We don't have
humans
wolves
need.
anymore, so something's got to kill them.
Yeah. So bottom line is,
Are you for the reintroduction of the wolf? Because that's like a big policy question.
That
in
is
the
a big
West.
policy question. I don't know all the aspects about it, but it seems reasonable
To reintroduce the wolf?
in some areas.
Because the ranchers
Right,
and
the
like
ranchers
people with
hate that.
small children
Yeah.
sometimes don't love the idea of roving
and that's
pack of
understandable.
predators.
But I think in some areas it makes sense. They're a natural part of the ecosystem. Just
I'm pro wolf.
I am as well.
I like wolves.
Do you know that there is a wolf rehabilitation center about an hour from right where we're sitting, up in the mountains of Julian,
I did
California?
know that, yeah.
I featured him on my Hungry Heroes show about a year and a half ago. I learned tons about, I spent the day with wolves and learned, you are correct, huge part of the ecosystem, need to be reintroduced in the correct areas for the ecosystem. So I agree. I'm pro wolf
Dan
in
spent
the
a
right
day with
areas.
the wolves, and then they elected him the pack leader.
Yes.
Actually, as it turns out today, there are 8 wolves that are still loyal to Dan Ball and will do whatever he says after that experience.
I bit one and showed him who
Looks
was
at him
boss.
and does that thing.
Did you get the chocolate labs yet?
No, flying up north in 2 weeks to bring him home to the ranch.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, I'll bring him into the studio.
For the
Let him lay right here. Yeah.
first time those dogs chew up some of Peyton's shoes, you're going to be in trouble. Now, I know you say they're like trained and will never chew up shoes, but that just means they'll only chew up a few.
They're going to be ranch dogs, which means they're outside.
That's good.
Oh.
'cause labs are stinky.
They will come in and
Labs
be
are
part of the
smelly
family,
dogs.
and I'll throw them treats when I'm cooking, and they're my boys. But they're going to be ranch dogs, which means you're out living in your kennel. When I'm not home, you're out roaming. My
So
2
not
acres
sleeping
is
in the bed.
gated. No, you're outside. You're getting the gophers, the moles, and the squirrels off my damn property. That's what I want the boys for. And obviously hunting, fishing, hanging out with, and camaraderie. And I've always loved labs. Yeah. English chocolate. That's what I'm getting.
You a pet guy, Pearson?
I used to be more so than I am today.
Uh-oh, what happened? Did you get bit in the ass?
No, they're a lot of work, and I find the older I get, the less work I want to do maintaining the house.
So was it dogs or cats or?
It was both. I grew up with dogs. Had some great dogs. I grew up with corgis, and they're amazing animals. Do you know anything about corgis?
They're like the British. The Queen had corgis.
Yeah, the Queen had corgis.
Right?
But they're herding dogs, and they're very, very loyal, very intelligent. And when you get them as a child, they think you are their herd, and they protect you. And there was one time when we had a neighbor who had just a vicious little Scottish terrier, hated people, hated kids especially, and me. And we lived on a golf course, and I was out playing in the sprinklers or something, and she saw me, the neighbor dog, made a beeline right for me to go attack me. And my mom watched it happen, couldn't do anything about it. My dog, Cromwell, came out of nowhere.
Cromwell.
Well, yeah,
Very
named
British
after
name.
Follow-up question.
Yeah, after Arthurian. Ran over, knocked her down, crashed into her, knocked her down, and stood on top of her, biting her neck until my mom could get there and get me out. And then he let her go, and that was it.
And you can't put in enough work for these animals to have another one. Saved your life from that terrier.
Yeah.
Now you're like, well, I'm older. A lot of
When
work.
we have a ranch, I'll have some more animals. But, we live in the suburbs, and there's just a little yard.
Yep.
And
That's what kept me from having dogs for the last umpteen years.
I want them to be able to run around and be free.
Well, and
Like, I lived in Ohio. We had like 3 acres in the woods, and we had probably like 17 cats.
all kinds
at
of
one
animals.
point.
Yeah, they're
But
outdoor.
they
They're
didn't
barn
live
cats
in the house.
Yeah, they're
They ran
barn
around.
cats.
They'd come in, they'd eat in the kitchen for a few minutes and go out, and that was fun.
I'm about ready
Never
to get
had a
some of
mouse
those.
problem.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
about ready to get some of those. I got mice in my garage chewing shit up, and all my neighbors are like, just go to the pound, ask if they have some feral ones that don't act very nice, that aren't good in the side, and bring them home. Put them in your garage, give them food, milk, water, whatever. The mice will be gone in minutes.
That
So-
a house cat is one of the most efficient killers on the planet
It's
Earth.
astonishing.
They really are effective killers, and whether it's birds, mice, and then when they love you, because I'm a cat person and a dog person. When a cat really loves you, they'll go kill a snake or a rat, and then they'll bring it to you as
Here,
a
man.
gift.
Show off.
Yeah, to show how much they love you and care about you. And so they'd be bringing some stinky bird or rodent, and I would always praise the cat and thank you so much for bringing this to me. You're very sweet to do that.
Well, that and 9mm will take care of them. I did something. The other night we were moving stuff around the house.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a mouse, but it was a mouse. It wasn't a rat. It was a mouse.
The country
big
mouse.
ass, the country mouse, big ass mouse, just outside my wife's garage. As I was backing her car out, and she was doing some stuff in, and I looked down, and she just like jumped out of her. She scared the mouse into freezing right in front of me. I had nothing to take
Peyton
care
has
of.
that effect on people.
She was just like, ah! And then I'm like, what the? So, yeah, I had to.
Wait, hold on. You just went straight for the piece.
Shot the
and
sucker
just
with the 9mm.
like it was at high noon at the saloon.
I had nothing else to kill it with.
All right, how far away was this shot, and how many shots did you take to
Just
off
like
this
from
mouse?
here to that set. It wasn't that far.
One? You get
Yeah.
it in one?
I shot it once, and it didn't kill it. It maimed it.
How big was this mouse?
Yeah,
It was a big mouse.
Yeah, and it's hard to hit the vitals of a mouse.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
with
impressed.
with
you
a
hit it all.
9mm one-handing in the dark. So yeah, I missed it. Well, I don't know if I missed it the first time because it didn't move too
Clipped
far.
it.
It was like,
He
and
winged
then
it.
took
He
care of
winged
it on the
mouse.
second one. Yeah, but it scared my wife. I didn't have a ball bat or close enough to step on it. And for all you animal lovers in PETA, read between the lines. I don't want to hear your emails. So yeah, I took care of it. I dispatched the rat.
Funeral, full rights.
No, my
Burial.
neighbor,
Did you guys say some-
my
say some
neighbor was
words
there, and
about
I
it?
said, "What should I do with it?" Because he's lived there for 40-some years, and he said,
Throw it down the hill, it'll be gone in the morning.
"No." He just said, "Leave it there." The owls, and you hear them every night out at our ranch. Woo-hoo. He's like, "Just wait. Those owls." will
Dude,
come
but then
down."
the owl would have the lead from the bullet in it.
Actually, he didn't take it. We think a possum or coon took it.
So the possum.
Because they'll eat dead stuff.
Yeah.
The owls don't want dead stuff. They want it alive.
Yeah.
That's why you got to watch your small cats and dogs in Cali. These big, huge screech owl barn owls that we have out here in Cali, they're big. I saw one the other day. I'm like, that could probably pick up a 10, 12-pound dog or cat. Oh, yeah. The gal we bought the house from, husband-wife team, she said in the 48 years they lived there, they lost 3 cats, and she witnessed one of them sitting on the deck, laying in her layout chair, and the cat jumped up on the railing, and within seconds, an owl came from the palm tree and went whoosh, and took her kitty away.
That's
Well, you
nature,
know-
bro.
nature.
Yeah.
Peyton's pretty small. You better keep an eye on her.
Yes.
From the wolves and the owls,
Yes.
and the possums and the raccoon.
We do have all those. guys will have to stop.
Do you like living out in the country now? You were just kind of getting out there and getting settled. Now you've had multiple animal encounters. I mean,
Yes, we do.
is it everything you
I think
hope?
the animals have had encounters with Dan.
They do.
Brief ones.
A very large. I was waiting for ground squirrels because they're horrible in California, with an old 870 pump because I don't have a lot of small caliber stuff. So I need to buy some now that I have a ranch. I need a vermin gun, but I had big stuff, and so I was sitting waiting for squirrels with an old Remington 870 pump 12,
As one does.
and as one does, and a little gopher decided to pop his head up a few yards out, so he lost his head. So yeah,
It sounds like you're an excellent shot.
if you saw, I've been shooting since
It sounds
5.
that way.
Yeah.
Come out. Anytime you guys want to get the cameras rolling.
The next
and
episode
take
of
me on.
Anchorman, we'll all be sitting around with our guns looking for a gopher to pop his head out. We'll just,
Bunch of Elmer fudge.
just sitting there in total
But if
silence.
you saw the damage, most people don't know the damage they do. I didn't realize this.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had big property. I've owned a couple homes in Cali before, but they were like you, small cul-de-sac. Your neighbor's right on top of you. You've got a backyard, maybe a pool. That's it. You don't have yardage. You don't have acreage. And so I'm coming to find now, owning only 2.5 acres, and my neighbors all have 2.5 to 5. They're like, bro, you can set the traps and get rid of them for a season, a year. They're right back. And the damage they cause is detrimental to your property. You got to bring in fill dirt, roll it. Like my neighbors had a boulder actually shift and move on his yard because the squirrels dug out so many damn holes underneath it, burying nuts. And I have, this is going to sound fun, I have nuts on my land. And so what kind
There's a new one now.
macadamia, yeah. And so I can literally go out and count hundreds of holes, and then there's macadamia shell casings everywhere.
So obviously what you need to build is a series of owl perches around this area. And when you're not hunting, the owls can hunt for you.
I don't know if you've got a good way to get rid of ground squirrels because they're not like back home. They
covered
don't
this.
tree.
Cats.
They don't tree.
And
They're in
owls.
their holes.
We need an owl guy.
No, I don't want to get rid of owls. Owls are my friend. I want to get rid of the
No, you
gophers
want the
and
owls.
squirrels.
Don't
Yes,
get rid of the
what I'm
gophers.
saying.
No, I was at
You can't get rid of the owls. It's illegal in California.
but there are falcon. This is a job. There are falconers who go around places to keep like the pigeons and stuff away. Ginger and I were having dinner at the Montecito Club, and some homie is just rolling around with some
I've seen that.
falcon thing.
and he lets them go.
And you know, the mere presence of that predatory bird is a sufficient deterrent to all the seagulls or
Yes.
pigeons or whatever would be disruptive to the guests. So like I had to go up to that guy and be like, listen, obviously you got some time on your hands. You're going to be here for the next 8 hours with your falcon. How does one get into this line of work?
Yeah.
How does
It's a
someone...
very niche hobby.
I've seen that before at a.
Homeschool kids do that.
By the way, that was it. He was like, well, I was homeschooled.
It's legit though. I was at a hotel.
On it. This is why he's the best investigative reporter at the network. He did not need 2 guesses on how someone became a falconer.
He had a lot of time on his hands. at
That's
home.
something I would do. That sounds
yeah.
fun, honestly.
That's
But, like-
it's legit though. I was at a hotel in Palm Springs, Palm Desert area. It's like a Marriott. They have a huge outdoor, indoor boat fountain situation thing, and so the birds can get in and out a lot. And there's a dude that walks around with a falcon. And I asked one time, I'm like, yeah, it's to keep
You know
other
he
birds
has his
away.
choice of any single chick in that place.
Is
Oh
that,
yeah,
Is that a falcon
Because the
joke?
ladies walk up. Can I touch your bird? Can I touch your bird?
I just think you just look like the coolest guy ever, like walking around with a deterrent
Yeah, but
predatory
he just
bird
walk
on
around
your
and
arm.
say, like, yeah, I pick up chicks.
Yeah, be like, yeah.
I mean, think about it. If I walked into like the White House press briefing room with you on my
Sorry,
arm,
that joke was foul.
right? And I had like if I brought Pearson Sharp on my arm and I walked,
That
into
would clear
briefing,
the room.
They would clear. They'd be like,
It
oh,
clears the room now anyway.
yes.
But so okay.
Well, because you look
we
like a
covered-
pissed off Mr. Clean,
accurate.
doesn't he? Look at him,
Accurate. Yeah.
and he's got the voice. I'm Pearson Sharp.
Well, this is my TV voice.
There's Pearson.
So we've covered Dan living in the country.
Hey, did we get
Black
my
Out, Walter
buddy's
White.
stuff worked out? Is that what
What?
we're saying? Oh my gosh, Isaiah Washington's on the line waiting. We can bring him on now if he's there and talk
Yeah,
about
we got a
Hollywood
couple
if we
minutes.
want.
Let's do it.
I want to. You know why? He'll be able to tell us what the hell the movies are probably that are actually up this year at the Academy Awards because, as we all said, we have no freaking clue.
There he is.
There's Isaiah.
Bring him in, Dan.
What's up, brother?
Man, I don't know why it takes. I had to open up a whole new Skype account for you. I don't know why we
Bro,
have so much trouble.
listen,
connecting.
we're all old except Pearson,
guaranteed.
and we don't know technology. I get it. So you missed the first half hour or so, and I already introed you and talked about you, folks. If you don't know Isaiah Washington's career, look it up. Amazing actor, hell of an aim. You want to talk about going hunting and who's probably a better shot than Matt Gaetz and Pearson Sharp? Isaiah's pretty damn good with the pistol, so watch out.
Well, as the one guy without an earpiece, this is an interesting conversation.
Oh, that's right. We didn't give Pearson an earpiece. He wasn't going to be here to talk to Isaiah. Sorry, brother. Isaiah, so my question is, and Matt and I, because we were literally clueless, we don't even know any of the names of the films being nominated this year because Hollywood's been so damn woke. We haven't been to the movie theater, we figured out, in years. Have you paid attention? I mean, I don't even know what's happening in Hollywood anymore.
I don't either. I don't watch any of that crap. I didn't even know the NAACP awards was on until someone DM'd me and they said they gave a chairman award to Kamala Harris and I dragged her on the app on X.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You didn't know what the NAACP? That's it. They're taking your black card. That's it. You're done.
Oh, I burned it. I put it on the app. I burned it years ago.
All right. So we brought you in. We zoomed you in so you could help us, I guess, dissect what's been happening to Hollywood over the last decade or couple decades with the woke BS, all of the garbage film, because we all miss the good old days. Like Matt's favorite movie, he said, was The Truman Show. Mine, for certain reasons, I know it wasn't that amazing of a movie, Matt, it was Good Morning Vietnam because it launched my career in military journalism, then journalism. And Pearson's was Gladiator because he thinks he's a bald Russell Crowe. I don't know. Anyway.
Who are the two? Introduce me to the two guys sitting next to you. I know you, but I don't know these two guys.
Oh, you don't know? I thought you knew. Okay, I got to introduce you guys real quick. So you know former Congressman Matt Gaetz, obviously, and Pearson Sharp.
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, now Isaiah's like, oh, that's Matt.
Screen.
He couldn't see. Yeah, that's Matt. That's Matt, bro.
Yeah,
I know I look way younger now than when I was in Congress, so it's hard to recognize.
I need to give him a cameo in my movie and let him play himself. Let him just walk past the camera.
And then Pearson Sharp's our investigative reporter here at One America News, so we threw Pearson up here as well.
Howdy.
And to do a little movie chit-chat for a few. We started at the beginning of the episode.
We got to get Isaiah's favorite movie.
That's true. Okay. Favorite movie and why, Isaiah? And you can't be in it.
Godfather.
Oh, Godfather.
First
okay. First one, of course. Matt, thoughts on that? Godfather being
it's always an acceptable. Honestly, there are at least three that you know that you could have chosen, and it would have been an acceptable answer.
Yeah, Pearson, Godfather, better than Gladiator.
No, absolutely.
Whoa, not.
No. Well,
if
it were better, I would have picked Godfather. But Gladiator is a superior movie.
So Isaiah, what's the over under on the number of like Trump derangement syndrome meltdowns we're gonna see at the Academy Awards?
Yes,
in the speeches. Like,
yeah, you pick.
I think I would set the over under at about like 3.5.
That's all.
Yeah,
only 3 celebrities.
You think more?
I'm not going to watch it, but I suspect that because of the scuttlebutt with the recent finding a release of, a limited hangout, so to speak, from Pam Bondi of the Epstein files, I think they're gonna leave Trump alone. I don't think there's going to be too many shots taken at Trump because
that's a good point.
If you remember Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, he really embarrassed a lot of people who knew Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, okay.
So if they were smart, I don't think they would.
So not even one. There won't be one like one De Niro type person that'll just be like an F Trump at the end, or you don't think so? So he's going with 0. You're going with 3.
He's got the under.
Well,
you've got
I don't
the
think
over
Ray
on 3.5.
can afford it.
How many anti-Trump meltdowns?
On the list.
You take over under 3.5.
Yeah, hold on. Let's get
Isaiah's got the under.
And wait, this is just during the ceremony for live TV, not the red carpet stuff.
Correct.
Because the red carpet, there'll be a-holes.
Yeah.
So just during the 4-hour nauseating Academy Awards, how many will go off on Trump?
3 sounds about right. It's really tough right now because that woke culture has been like, they're beheading that left and right everywhere they can, and people are learning that's not acceptable anymore.
This is obviously a figure of speech. Mr. Sharp is not calling for direct violence against anyone.
So many disclaimers on the show.
Just,
That's what happens when I come on a show.
Yeah.
A lot of disclaimers. Hey, NewsGuard is watching like a hawk right now.
This is not normal TV. It's a podcast.
So Isaiah, the reason we had Pearson on is because earlier he actually was approached by the CCP, by the Chinese government, and asked for his views. And he does this Zoom call with the Chinese embassy, and everything, even including like the hot Asian chick that they bring into the Zoom frame. And before we get out of here, we only got a few minutes left. I wanted you to be able to finish the story on kind of how that concluded.
The honeypot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Isaiah, he got honeypotted by the Chinese government. They literally emailed him and said, get on a Zoom. This is the embassy. We want to know why your reports and OAN are so negative towards our country. We want to mend that fence. They were trying to honeypot his ass.
Was it Fang?
Didn't do a
Was
good
it
job.
Fang's sister?
Yeah, it was Fang. Go ahead anyway. Go ahead. Tell us.
yeah. So, I mean, obviously they want to maintain contact, but they had a bunch of interesting things that they said. Of course, none of what's happening is China's fault. That's obvious. They
own most of the studios. What are you talking
a lot of Chinese
about? They
people are
own
upset
everything.
about these tariffs that Trump is proposing, and we don't think it's fair, and we're not going to cooperate because we feel like it's being imposed on us. And his excuse is that it's from the fentanyl, but fentanyl doesn't come from China. We don't have anything to do with that. And we're working with your government, and we're doing everything we can to stop that. But it's important to point out. Mexico could get fentanyl from anywhere. Why does it have to come from us?
We're tracking it. We know where it comes
That's a
from.
lie.
I know.
Fentanyl doesn't come from China. Cocaine doesn't come from Colombia.
Right.
These teeth are natural.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
The last isn't from the Rocky Mountains.
Trump put a tariff on China.
So when I pointed out, I was like, I asked a very diplomatic question. I said, so what is your government doing to face this challenge? And how are you going to stop all these precursors that are coming from China? And then he was like, oh, well, yes, we understand that the precursors are coming from China, but, we're doing everything we can. It's like, look, first you said it wasn't, then you said it was. This is just a shell game. You're trying to see what we think and if you can get influence with us. I think that was the whole point of the conversation.
And that was it. Did you say, I'll stay in touch then?
Oh, yeah. No, I was very, very diplomatic. I was like, One American News is honored to speak with Chinese representatives. We would love to do whatever we can to help you,
So you
Pearson
pretty much
Sharp didn't kill himself. That's all I have to say.
Isaiah, thanks, brother, for making it in. We appreciate it. We're almost out of time. I doubt you'll be having an Oscars watch party then at your pad this weekend?
No, but not at all. But quickly, the last time Trump put a tariff on China, we got hit with the Wuhan virus. If you look at the $10 billion tariff he put on China,
great point.
About 7 days later, we got hit with the first Wuhan virus.
He had just signed phase 1, and he was going to sign phase 2 and 3, and then Wuhan. So, Trump better watch tariff in China again, or we'll have the next outbreak. That's a great point. Isaiah, thanks for coming in, man. Sorry we had the technical. Man. Yeah, we'll get you back on sometime. I'll tell you what we'll do. You, me, the boys here, let's meet at Terran's place in Simi Valley, do some shooting, and then we'll put the video on the podcast, and we'll put this to bed on who's the better shot. Deal?
I'm out of here, man. I'm moving to Dallas April 1st, bro. I'm out of here.
Oh, that's right. He's moving to Texas. See, he's getting out of Hollywood like all celebrities. He's moving to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks,
Isaiah, thanks for being with us. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Pearson. This is always the highlight of my week. And if folks enjoy the program, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever listening platform you're using. Leave us a review. We'll see you next week for a little more Anchorman. Take it easy.
Want to see more great videos like this? Click on the link below to subscribe to OAN Live and watch Dan Ball's Real America and The Matt Gaetz Show on Dish Channel 212. Tune in, subscribe, and watch today.